So there's been some news in the Vans world.
I can't believe we're here again talking about yet another Vans update. It's getting kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So the latest news, Vans himself published a video and a statement basically saying that Vans is having financial trouble, which we kind of assumed was coming. To the extent of how much trouble they're in, we still don't know. And what does it mean for us and our build? So we know Vans has had a lot of setbacks above and beyond just the traditional pandemic setbacks that a lot of companies have had and other economic challenges that all companies are facing. But on top of that, they had the quick build primer issue where they had to really expend a lot of money to redo some quick builds for people because of a bad primer that was used. Then the whole laser cut part thing, which...
Oh, that's just a tiny little thing.
We've talked about that at length, and the path forward with laser cut parts is still clear as mud at this point. We still don't know what all that means. Just because we feel we're either minimally impacted or not impacted at all, it's still a big issue.
Yeah.
So, setting that aside for this video, the future of Vans.
That's kind of scary to me. Watching the video, seeing how serious he was, knowing that things are changing at Vans Aircraft, kind of scares me.
So companies go through change. Companies, I will say I am thankful and optimistic that they are as transparent and forthcoming with this information as they are. That's kind of rare in companies. I know both you and I are part of companies who have had their own challenges, and they were not nearly as transparent about this.
Not at all.
So I do think that whatever Vans does, it will be consistent with the integrity and class that Vans is known for. I think that company's built on certain values that they can't just give things away to the point that they would be out of business, and they only have limited resources to work with, but they're in it to take care of us. I personally feel that Vans is too important to fail. It's put our kid aside, put us builders aside for a moment. If Vans ceased to exist, all the airplanes that are out there flying could not get new parts. If all the kits that are in progress could not be finished, if there were no more Vans airplanes to ever be built, I think it's bigger than just us home builders. I think it's bigger than just us Vans Aircraft builders. I think it would be a huge blow to general aviation as a whole. I do believe if Vans ceases to exist in the future, it will be the first domino that will really change for the worse general aviation, if not really start to make general aviation a lot more challenging. Because I do think Vans Aircraft is one of the options that is going to help continue to make general aviation viable, because it is more affordable than certified. It gives us the opportunities to do a lot of our own maintenance and not only acquire an airplane for a lower price point than a new Cirrus or a new Cessna or new Piper. Who else is still making new airplanes? The list is getting small, but the cost to operate it is potentially a lot lower for those of us who are willing to learn how to build this and learn how to maintain it. That's what's very attractive for us. So
I think it also takes a big blow to the education of general aviation, the education of building in general, because, there's so many kids out there learning building 12s.
Yes.
So many youth programs out there right now.
So Vans they're going to make it work. I think the real question is who owns Vans going forward. It's obvious, even though Vans has not published any changes that they have made to their staffing or who's involved. It's obvious there's some big changes. I'm not looking forward to finding out what those changes are, because I get the feeling some people who I care for and respect a lot will no longer work for Vans going forward. But let's not get ahead of that, because we don't know. We do know that Vans is bringing in some experts to do some, to help understand their business and help them make the right decisions going forward. And they've brought in a new interim CEO, which that in itself is a huge statement of things are going to change. Going forward, bankruptcy is an option. I don't think that's where they're going to go. And let's just be honest. We're on the outside. We have no information. We have no clue what direction they're going to go. If they're going to go bankruptcy, if they're going to sell, if they're going to get an injection of cash to continue operating as is. But I do think almost all roads lead to all of our kits that we have in order will come to us. Maybe not, definitely not in the original timeline that we thought, but I don't think it's plausible that this kit behind us that we have put our blood, sweat, tears, and money into is going to go unfinished. It's just a matter of when.
You're very optimistic. I'm a little bit more concerned than you are. As everyone probably knows, we don't have a finished kit.
Yes.
We cannot finish our airplane without a finished kit. So what does that mean? Do we move forward with our engine? Do we move forward with our avionics? We have a paint date. Like, we have a lot invested in this, and knowing that we're not even certain we're going to get our finished kit is really nerve-wracking. Granted, I have something else on my mind a lot these days, but yeah.
So paint date, if it has to slide, it's going to slide. If we have to add a whole year onto this build, that would be heartbreaking, but at least we will be flying this airplane. So our finish kit is definitely going to come, because the only way forward for Vans is to actually sell kits and collect that money. Now, they've collected our deposit on the finish kit, but 75% of that fee is still yet to be paid for them. What Vans has been doing, again, this is speculation, too much social media information going back and forth, but it appears that Vans has been using our deposits to operate with, which I'm not a business expert, but that is not sustainable long-term, because if you're using deposits to pay for what's happening today, you're relying on more deposits to handle what's happening tomorrow, and eventually you run out because our deposit goes to paying for our kit, 25% of our kit, not things that happened before our kit's built. So, but they've got to get moving and collecting the rest of that money. Hopefully they don't file bankruptcy, because then it's possible that our deposit is lost. And then in order to get our finished kit, we got to pay full price. Regardless, I do think prices are going up. And I know that's painful for a lot of us to hear, because, and I have some people who I've seen already, it says, well, if it goes up, I'm out. People who've already started.
Going up for the last 3 years.
Just look around the world. Going to the grocery store costs multiple times more than it used to. So if anything, Vans didn't go up enough to prevent this from happening. Was it bad management? I'm not there. I'm not in the room. I don't know. From the outside in, and we've gotten to know a few people at Vans a little bit more than I think the average builder did because of this channel, but it was not a detailed inside access that, we don't know much more than the average builder did. I didn't see any evidence of bad management. I just saw some really bad luck and a few bad decisions. And the laser, people say, oh, you should have never done laser cut parts. 2020 hindsight, it's clear that should have never happened. But they did test it. They did go through a process to say that laser cut parts was acceptable. And I do believe in that process. Then a supplier decided to change that process on their own and produce them outside of spec. That should have been caught. That should have never been shipped to us. That shouldn't have been happening for a year before it happened. That was a failure in Van's ability to QC their change. But it's not like them going down that path is the cause. I think this was
a big chain of events that occurred.
Yep. I believe in Van's aircraft wholeheartedly. I believe in the values that it was built on. I do think that this is frustrating because like I said, we potentially have everything we've sunk into this airplane so far at risk. Because we can do everything we can with this airplane, but without a finish kit, it's not an airplane. No. And I don't know, without Van shipping us the finish kit, how we will ever finish this airplane. I don't know how we'll get landing gear, engine mounts, cowlings, canopy. Cowling, I know we can get third party. But engine mount and canopy,
gear,
yeah, it's like I don't know. So
we would lose that.
I have faith that Vans will work through this in a positive way and come out with a solution that will allow us to keep building. Partially, I say that because I have no choice. What else am I going to do?
You're being me over here and being like, well, we just, sold our house for nothing. We have all these parts. And now, when will we be flying?
Yeah. Now, our engine order is the other thing that I'm curious about. Was we've already put the deposit down on the engine order. We have a date about the first of the year for the engine. If they came to me today and said, I need the rest of the money for your engine, I don't think I would do it. It depends upon the turn. Yeah, because I can't order an engine without knowing if I'm ever going to get an engine mount to connect it to. So we're definitely in the mode of drag our feet out and see what happens. Hopefully by December, we get a little bit more clarity. You can't make decisions right now because you're not going to sell your kit in progress. I do think that if you were looking to buy a cheap kit, now might be a good time. If someone had a kit sitting in their garage that was mostly untouched, I would actually consider that now at a huge discount.
Yeah, but we need all the kits.
Yeah, but we need a finish kit. So if anybody has a finish kit,
if you want to sell your finish kit,
yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
We'll give you our place in line, which is currently March, is what they said last.
It was supposed to be November to December,
yep.
But now it's March to April.
And I think that's when this all actually started. This did not start when the announcement went out this week. I think this all started because we got a notice that our finish kit, which already slipped to November, December timeframe, slipped till March. Mm-hmm. And I think that change right there is when Vans was really looking at their logistics and what they can and can't do. And that might have been the hypothesis. This is just purely speculation. This is not anything that I know for sure, but we just got to keep on building somehow. So
it's tough times. It's hard to stay positively motivated to build right now because of everything, It's like, why bother keep building? We don't even know if we'll be able to finish the airplane, but I'm not ready to give up yet. So
we are going to finish this airplane. I'm convinced of it because if we don't finish this airplane because Vans cannot get us a finish kit, then, like I said, I think that what it means for general aviation is just too much.
If they can't get us a finish kit, I'm sure they'll release the specs and then we can have everything fabricated. But it's still going to delay everything.
Now, the most interesting thing I've seen in some of the social media warriors that are happening around this news story is, does this mean the end for quick build kits?
I think so.
I actually think that would simplify Vans's business significantly. Now, that does not mean it's the end of a builder being able to take advantage of quick building. I think that if the industry shifts to quick builders you can ship it to somebody and it's between you and that quick build facility to build that for you. I think that is the sustainable path forward. Because
they've got to give up the logistics to and from the quick build factory.
And you might have some mom and pop shops or some shops in the US who start doing it. We have Builder Assist already.
Yeah.
So
basically similar.
Yeah, and where you have a little bit more control over, it's like you ship it off to this facility who will build it to the same standard that Vans did a quick build, so you still maintain the 51% rule. I will say, if we had this whole build to do over again, I would have opted out of the quick build wings.
Mm-hmm.
That is, when we first got into it, we thought this project was over our heads, and we wanted to quick build both the fuselage and the wing. And we ended up, because of logistics, doing a slow build fuselage. After building the slow build fuselage, I'm looking at those quick build wings over there. I wish we would have built them ourselves. But you coulda, shoulda, woulda. This is what we have. I do believe the wings over there are either all good or mostly good, and we'll be able to do that going forward. For those who have built with laser cut parts, I get it that it's frustrating that you're going to have to replace those parts. But do not forget, you are a home builder. You are the A&P for this airplane. You have signed up to do what's right for this airframe. And sometimes there are setbacks. And even in the certified world, there are setbacks. I know my mechanic has been working on our airplane, our Beach Sundowner, for a while. He's running into setbacks. And there is no bailout or way for, these are not cars like produced by Ford or Chevy. These are parts that were sent to you, and you had to put them in there, and you have ownership on making sure they get put in right. Should Vans have ever sent out bad parts? No, but it's a sticky situation, and we're just going to do the best we can. We're going to finish this build one way or another. I don't know how, but we're going to finish this build.
We'll be there with you.
And Vans, I trust you. Do the right thing. Get the house in order. Do what's right. I know it's difficult. I know that us builders are going to have to pay some more to make this going forward. Although I hope our cost of our finish kit doesn't go up from where it is today, it's a possibility that we may have to account for.
We need it.
We need it. It's like we can't stop now. We calculated roughly how much we've already paid out now. We've hit the point of no return, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to finish this one way or another.
We got to do something.
I want to fly this airplane. And once this airplane's flying, this is all in the rearview mirror. We're good to go. So to everybody at Vans, I know this is a difficult time. Hang in there. Please hang in there. We need you. We love you. We feel for you. I think this is a bold decision. I think some bad decisions have been made on top of bad decisions to get us here. And I appreciate the fact that we're going to do a big step forward to try to break that chain, and making that first good decision after all the bad decisions is painful, and it's going to be painful for all of us. I'm trying not to participate in the negativity, but I'm also trying to respect the fact of how frustrating this is for us and everybody else. So that's what we have. Come on, Vans, let's get this plane out the door and up in the air.
Out of the garage.
So thank you. Thank you for watching 14 Victor Echo, and building will resume sometime.
See you next time.